Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, GAMA publishes second quarter airplane shipment report. Google Lunar XPRIZE adds milestone incentives. Big airlines come clean on true motive for ATC privatization. Hello, I'm Laura Hudson. It's August 17th and this is Airborne Unlimited. GAMA has published second quarter GA airplane shipment and billing data. The general aviation industry delivered 995 airplanes at a value of $9 billion during the first half of 2017. Results for the second quarter of this year are very much like the first, mixed, with some bright spots, said GAMA President and CEO Pete Bunce. We hope rule rewrites in the U.S. and Europe, reorganization of the FAA certification directorate, and ongoing certification and regulatory reform efforts in Congress, including fuller utilization of the delegation authorization, will spur higher numbers in future quarters this year and the next. The piston airplane segment led the industry in unit improvement at 5.6% increase compared to the same period in 2016. Business jet shipments increased by 3 units to 295 deliveries over the first 6 months of 2017. The turboprop segment was down 0.9% or 2 units in the first 6 months of 2017 compared to the same time period last year. XPRIZE and Google have announced that $4.75 million in additional Milestone Prize money will be available to Google Lunar XPRIZE finalist teams for achieving technological milestones along the way to the moon. Teams can compete for one or both of the following prizes. Lunar Arrival Milestone Prize. The spacecraft must complete 1 orbit around the moon or enter a direct descent approach to the lunar surface to win $1.75 million. Soft Landing Milestone Prize. The spacecraft must transmit data proving it soft landed on the lunar surface to win $3 million. The Milestone Prize purses will be evenly distributed between all teams who have achieved each milestone by March 31, 2018. Earlier this year, XPRIZE announced the 5 finalist teams with verified launch contracts: Space Israel, Moon Express, Synergy Moon, Team Indus, and Hakuto. Additionally, XPRIZE established a mission completion deadline of March 31, 2018, regardless of the initiation date, in order for teams to win the grand prize or second place prizes. After the break, motives behind ATC privatization effort become clear.
Progressive Aerodyne's Sea-Ray Adventure offers Rotax 912 power, a basic instrument panel, and radios. Fly it away for under $120,000. Visit searay.com for more details.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Concorde's recombinant gas RG series sealed battery technology produces a high-performance battery with the advantages of being pre-tested and fully charged at the factory. Find out more about Concorde's entire line of batteries at www.concordebattery.com. Concorde, the heart of your aircraft.
Welcome back. The Alliance for Aviation Across America says that in a recent piece in The Hill, privatization proponent Ian Adams argues in favor of a recent proposal to privatize ATC by saying it would reallocate the tax burden among the fees its users pay, including GA. This comes after months of the airline saying that privatization is not about shifting their taxes onto others. Another recent article attacked GA for not paying enough taxes into the ATC system, even though the president of the National Air Traffic Controllers Union and others have pointed out that GA's use is equivalent to what they pay into the system. The Alliance says this is all part of the airline's decades-long track record of raking in greater profits on the backs of consumers in general aviation. Also, they can further pad their bottom line and control and run the air traffic control system for their benefit. Meanwhile, the Alliance for Aviation Across America says that in a meeting earlier this year with President Trump and other airline CEOs, Southwest Airlines CEO Gary Kelly admitted that the problem with the ATC system was, quote, "Well, we're not in control, and I think that's one of the things that we see as the path to having success, is we need to address the fundamental organization of the air traffic organization." It's Thursday, which means that it's time for an Aero Community Update, highlighting news and information about the incredible people and organizations that populate the Airborne Partnership Initiative behind Airborne Unlimited. The staff at EAA and the Aero-News network were pleased to release the latest in a series of novel Aero TV Airborne programs designed to draw attention to the most innovative and aggressively oriented companies in the aviation universe, and most particularly those with real news to impart at AirVenture 2017. The roster is a veritable who's who of aviation innovators, over 30 in all. Programming options are viewable at oshcast.com, oshcast.net, or aero-news.net for webcasts of the incomparable AirVenture Innovation Preview 2017. After these messages, first Learjet 75 heads for Brazil.
Based on the popular Sling 2 LSA, the Sling 4 was designed to be the most practical and desirable lightweight four-place experimental aircraft on the market. Find out more about this 115 horsepower turbocharged airplane at airplanefactory.com.
Welcome back. With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing some other interesting stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. Bombardier Business Aircraft has delivered its first Learjet 75 aircraft to a Brazilian customer. The aircraft joins Bombardier's business jet fleet of 685 Learjet, Challenger, and Global aircraft in Latin America. Latin America is the third largest market for business aviation deliveries, with Brazil, Argentina, Mexico, and Venezuela making up over 80% of the regional fleet. The Brazilian National Civil Aviation Agency has certified the HondaJet, joining the U.S., Europe, Mexico, and Canada in improving the new aircraft. Honda Aircraft Company announced the certification this week at L-Base. Honda Aircraft appointed Leader Aviaso as the exclusive dealer in 2015 to provide sales, service, and support for customers in Brazil. The Airborne Law Enforcement Association announced it would be changing its name to the Airborne Public Safety Association, effective January 1, 2018. The new moniker is the culmination of several changes over the last 7 years, made to be more reflective of the entirety of those involved in public safety aviation, as well as more appealing to potential members the association desires to attract. Honeywell is helping reduce fuel use on 71 aircraft for 2 national carriers through its connected aircraft GoDirect fuel efficiency software. The technology now being deployed at Brussels Airlines and Air Serbia is part of Honeywell's GoDirect suite of more than 50 connected aircraft services. The Navy F-5N, which went down recently in the Florida Keys, is lying in 3,000 feet of water, and the Navy says it will very likely stay there. The aircraft went down during a training exercise about 20 miles southeast of Key West, Florida. The pilot ejected and was rescued by Coast Guard with no reported injuries. While some of the airplane was recovered, most of it went to the bottom of the ocean. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Now let's move on to the rest of the news. State officials in Connecticut continue to hold the position that Gustave Whitehead was the first person to fly a heavier-than-air machine on August 14, 1901, 2 years before the Wright brothers flew at Kitty Hawk in 1903. The state held a ceremony this week marking the 116th anniversary of the flight they say took place, though there is little evidence to support that claim. Isolated reports suggest that Whitehead flew from an open field about 15 miles outside the city and performed 2 demonstration sorties. The second flight was estimated to have covered 1.5 miles at a height of 50 feet, during which slight turns in both directions were demonstrated. Officials in both North Carolina and Ohio, where the Wright brothers had their airplane factory, dispute Connecticut's claim that Whitehead was first, and the Smithsonian Institution says that the evidence for Whitehead's flight is unproven. Still, municipal leaders held the ceremony in a park in Bridgeport and declared the day Gustave Whitehead Day. Well, that's our program for today. Remember that Airborne Unlimited is streamed daily Monday through Friday with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe and do check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Get comprehensive, real-time, 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. See you tomorrow.